Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my O.W.L.s TBR. So the O.W.L.s are a readathon that is running by G over at Book Roast, running through the month of April, in which everyone gets together to celebrate Harry Potter and magic. This readathon is based off of the O.W.L. exams that students at Hogwarts have to take in their 5th year. They stand for Ordinary Wizarding Level exams, and they are like stepping stones to the Newts, which are the 7-year exams, nastily exhausting wizarding tests, and those are the tests that students have to take in order to pursue their magical career. G's created this wonderful workbook that gives you a huge description of all the different wizarding careers and all the required owls and newts that you need in order to achieve them. I chose my career very aptly, I think. If any of you guys know me, I am choosing the Hogwarts professor career. I love it because she started off the prompt by saying basically, do you find the idea of leaving Hogwarts unacceptable? And that's my exact reason for wanting to be a university professor, is that I don't like the idea of leaving university. I just love it. I feel so at home at university. I feel so much that like being a professor is what I'm meant to do. So I think this is a great idea for me to do this as my wizarding career. In order to be a Hogwarts professor, you have to complete 7 O.W.L.s, so I'm going to be reading 7 books for the readathon. The required O.W.L.s are: pick a subject that you wish to teach, and for that I'm going to be choosing Ancient Runes. I also have to complete the Defense Against the Dark Arts O.W.L., and 5 other O.W.L.s of my choice. Each subject that you're required to take in order to get the career is corresponding to a different reading prompt for the actual readathon, so it helps you pick the books that you're supposed to be reading. Starting off with my TBR for Ancient Runes, the prompt is to read a retelling, and so I'm going to be reading Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I had this book on a TBR for the Femme Fatale readathon back at the beginning of the month, but I never ended up reading it. I got like 25 pages in, so I'm going to start fresh this month and finish Uprooted. It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, unlike what I kept saying during that readathon, which is what I thought it was, a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. That actually is Spinning Silver, which I have over there. Different book by Naomi Novik. Anyway, you'd think the rose would have given it away, but you know, I'm apparently a fake fan. Anyway, it is a wonderful Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I'm really excited to get into it. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I'm really excited. And the next subject that I'm going to be taking is Defense Against the Dark Arts, in which the prompt is Reducto, read a book that begins with the letter R. And for that, I chose to read Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. Reflection is one of Disney's Twisted Tales. It is obviously the twisted version of Mulan. In this retelling, Shang actually dies during the battle with the Huns, and Mulan is forced to go down into the underworld in order to save him, and I am so excited. I read As Old as Time, which was the Beauty and the Beast Twisted Tale, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year, and I've been really anticipating reading this, and this is the perfect opportunity. There are 4 other Disney's Twisted Tales as far as I know. There's the Aladdin one, the Little Mermaid one, the Sleeping Beauty one, and there's soon to be a Snow White one, so these are all really exciting and really great ways to retell these beloved stories, and I'm excited to read my second one. Next up, the next subject I'm going to be taking is Herbology, in which the prompt is to read a book with a plant on the cover. For this, I'm going to be reading Sea Fire by Natalie C. Parker. This is a like piratey type fantasy story, which I'm very down for, and it's got a lot of roses on the cover, so it fits for this prompt. I again had this on another TBR. It was on my Ostara Widgeathon TBR. Again, that readathon was a complete fail. If you guys watched my vlogs, you'd know that. I didn't finish a single book. It's a stressful week, okay? But this was on that TBR and I never even got to start it, so I'm excited to be able to get to it during this month. The next subject I'm going to be taking is A History of Magic, in which the prompt is to read a book that was published more than 10 years ago. For this challenge, I'm going to be reading City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is the 2nd book in the Mortal Instruments series, which I started rereading back in December, and it's one of the series that I was mainly trying to reread in 2019. I need to catch up because Soleil and Madison are already on City of Glass, apparently, and I'm behind. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to read this. This is the 2nd installment, and I'm excited. The next subject that I'm going to be taking during this readathon is Transfiguration, in which the prompt is to read a book with sprayed edges or a red cover. For this prompt, I'm going to be reading Blood Witch by Susan Dennard. This is the 4th installment in the Witchland series by Susan Dennard, which is one of my favorite fantasy series of all time. It is the 3rd book in the series, but the 4th book published in the world, since there was a prequel, Sight Witch, that came out recently, but the first 2 books are Truth Witch and Wind Witch, and they're both amazing. I'm so excited to get back to these characters because I haven't read them in a couple of years now. Actually, almost 3 years. Jesus. But I'm so excited to get back to Safi and Merritt because they're my two favorites, but this is one of my most anticipated books of this year. It just came out in February, and it's got a mainly red cover, so I'm counting it. The next class that I'm going to be taking is Potions, and the prompt for Potions is Next Ingredient, aka a sequel, and for that I'm going to be reading Deathcaster by Cinda Williams-Chima. This is, again, one of my most anticipated books of this year. I pre-ordered it back last summer, and it is the 4th installment in the Shattered Realms series, which is a sequel to the Seven Realms series by Cinda Williams-Chima. I was introduced to the series by Reagan over at Peruse Project, and I'm obsessed. I'm kind of really happy it's not that talked about on booktube because I don't have to worry about spoilers for this, because I've just been avoiding watching Reagan's vlog just in case. This is the finale to this series and I'm really sad about it, but I'm very excited to break into it. It's massive, so I'm happy that I have quite a bit of time off after my exams, so it's going to be a perfect time for me to dive into this. I know I'm going to read it in a couple of goes, because I binged the entire series last summer, and I'm over the moon excited to finally read this book. Finally, the last subject that I'm going to be taking is astronomy, and the prompt for the astronomy subject is to read a book with star in the title. For this, I'm going to be reading A Star-Touched Queen by Roshni Chokshi. I've had this book on my bookshelf for a couple of years now, but I just never picked it up. I don't know why. I brought this all the way to England with me and I still never read it. I'm really excited to actually get into it. It's a high fantasy story that's got a lot of original mythology and magic in it, and I'm very excited to read it. That's about as much as I know about it, but I've heard some good things about it. I love Roshni Chokshi as a person. I follow her on Instagram and I think she's hilarious, and I've been wanting to read The Gilded Wolves for a long time. But I think I'm going to start with A Star-Touched Queen. I think it's a perfect time for me to read it, again, for most of these books. And I'm excited to give it a go, so I will let you guys know what I think. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. That was my O.W.L.s Readathon TBR. I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments below if you're going to be participating in this readathon or what you guys think of my chosen career and the books that I've chosen to read. If you've read any books that are on my TBR, let me know what you think. If you're new here, please subscribe. I put out new bookish videos every Wednesday and Friday, and I hope you guys have a lovely day.